of sleep. He supposed it was better than nothing, but damn, he was tired. "I might have bitten off more than I can chew," Seth admitted, his voice distanced, confirming Seth's guess that he had dropped the phone. More clanging ensued. Someone howled in pain. "I could really use your—" Grabbing his katanas, Seth teleported to NCCU's campus, where Sean, one of the youngest Immortal Guardians currently stationed in North Carolina, was fighting 5 vampires. "Help!" Sean finished. A beep sounded. Relief filled his blood-streaked face as he swung at 2 vampires in front of him, then spun to block the attack of 3 more behind him. "Watch the phone, asshole! Watch the phone!" he shouted. The vampire in front of him looked down at the cell phone that lay in the grass at his feet. Sneering, he raised his foot to stomp on it. The move cost him his head. Amusement sifting through him, Seth swiftly dispatched 3 of the remaining vampires, while Sean took out the last. As soon as his opponent fell, Sean bent and retrieved his phone, then grinned in triumph. "Ha! Not a scratch on it." Seth shook his head. "Why are you hunting alone?" Sean's look turned sheepish as he wiped blood off the device and tucked it into an inner pocket of his long coat. "Do you want my answer or the one my second would give you?" "Your second. Nicole is an excellent judge of character." Seth walked around the corpses at their feet, studying each slack face intently before the peculiar symbiotic virus that inhabited the vampires could distort their features by devouring their hosts from the inside out in a desperate bid to continue living. Sean's shoulders slumped. "Because I'm hard-headed?" Seth would have laughed if he weren't so concerned. These were dangerous times. He had already lost 2 Immortal Guardians in recent years. He didn't want to lose another. "Was I unclear in my instructions?" Sean shifted his feet. "No." Bending, he began to retrieve his swords and daggers. Seth had heard more than one Immortal Guardian grumble that he sometimes made them feel like children being upbraided by a parent. That was how Sean appeared now. Seth was the self-proclaimed leader of the Immortal Guardians, the oldest and most powerful amongst them, and David, Seth's second-in-command, had reminded him not long ago that they all viewed him as a father figure, so he couldn't help the authoritative tone he sometimes took. "Until we locate and defeat Gershom," he said, "none of you should hunt alone." Sean wiped the blood from each blade before he returned them to sheaths inside his coat. "I know. And yet here you are, hunting alone." Seth cleaned his own weapons before sheathing them. "Why?" The younger man shook his head. "It's going to sound lame." "I'm sure it will." Sean laughed, his countenance lightening as some of the tension in his posture eased. "Krista hunted and killed psychotic vampires for 7 years before she met Etienne." "Not without your help," Seth reminded him. "Some help I was," he muttered, his amusement dying. He and his sister Krista, like all Immortal Guardians, had been born gifted ones. The advanced DNA they hadn't known they possessed had lent them both special abilities. Sean could heal with his hands, Krista could see auras. And while Krista had always believed her gift useless when compared to her brother's, it had ultimately enabled her to become the only mortal in history to successfully hunt and slay vampires without immortal aid and live to tell the tale. Vampires' auras shifted before they did, enabling her to anticipate their movements and giving her a way to battle the vampires, who moved so swiftly they appeared but a blur to mortals, on a more equal footing. Sean had lacked that edge and had not fared well in battle the few times he and Krista had hunted together before their transformations, so his role in eradicating the vampire menace had been reduced to letting Krista do the fighting while he waited to heal whatever wounds she incurred. Seth shook his head. "She couldn't have slain as many vampires as she did had you not enabled her to live to fight another day. I know your past." He had thoroughly examined the man's thoughts and memories before allowing Etienne to transform him. "You saved her life countless times, so she could go out the next night and risk it again while I..."